Good morning, Mount Olive Church and friends of Mount Olive Church and Warrior fans. Welcome to, if you're not a Warrior fan, we're sorry about that. We wish you were. Just kidding. We have all kinds of fantastic people that come to our church that go to different schools, but it is state championship Saturday today. As I share my screen here, get into the message here in a minute, but just want to first things first here wish our Warriors and Emma McCamus and Jill Sturgill and Bailey Allison and all the ones that are, I guess would consider themselves Mount Olive kids, and hopefully I didn't leave anybody out there. If I think of somebody later, I guess I'll have to redo this devotion. But all the girls, of course, we wish them good luck, and Pastor and his wife and all of the McCamus family, we wish them healthy blood pressures during the game this morning, depending on when you're watching this devotion. Um, wish them luck. Hopefully they had a good trip up and the snow cooperated a little bit. I'm filming this on Friday, but we certainly wish them good luck. And, we're going to do, I kind of skipped through it there, but the devotion today, by the way, is on having a right attitude. And it seems to be a very popular subject this week in the devotions. I know Brother Jody, amongst others, have mentioned it. Brother Jody was straight up on it. And I was thinking at the time when I watched it, that's where I'm going to. And Brother TJ mentioned it on Wednesday night. And I guess the point being, the thing I've taken from this week is that a lot of us struggle having the right attitude. We'll get to the scripture here in just a minute, but just a quick kind of shout out to our Warrior team, our Lady Warrior team, basketball team, and I just love how this group of teenage girls has really done a fantastic job of rallying around each other and some of the things that go on, and we will definitely won't get into that, but just how supportive they have been to each other through this whole process. And of course, things weren't perfect, but they've been so good to each other. I love this picture that I grabbed here from the video there of when they beat Gate City, of Emma and Jill kind of embracing after the game was over, and just the look of happiness there. And so go Warriors. But getting into the devotion here, and again, having a right attitude. This, like Brother TJ said on Wednesday night, or during the sermon, I'm sorry, on Sunday morning, he said this point really hit him right square in the eyes, and boy, it did me too. It really did, and something I've been working on here lately, and just having a better attitude in general. It's spring, which for SOL teachers means we get hateful and stressed out, and it just I've been struggling with that lately, this was a good point for me. And but in Genesis 40 here, that we're talking about Joseph, and of course he's in prison, and the baker and the butler come, and I won't go into great detail on that. Some of the other guys have done an awesome job with that. But verse 6 here, it says, and Joseph came in to them in the morning and looked upon them, and behold, they were sad. I love that either A, they were like me and they just wear their emotions on their sleeve, or B, and I think it's probably B, Joseph noticed them, right? He took the time, even though he was in the prison, more on that in just a minute, but even though he was in the prison, had his own set of problems, he took the time to notice that these guys were having a hard time. And in verse 7, he asked about them. He says, he asked Pharaoh's officers that were with him in the ward of his Lord's house, saying, wherefore look ye so sadly today? So he noticed they were having problems, and he took the time to be to ask about them, to be interested in their lives, right? And so this was something that Brother TJ said, and I'll try to be quick here this morning. You've got a championship game to go watch, but before you do this point was really good to me later in the week. I actually did not have this slide in there earlier on, and it's like I could not film this devotion earlier. Brother Brett had asked me earlier in the last week, I guess, to fill in for him on this Saturday, and I said I would. And I usually like to do stuff early, so mainly I don't forget. But I don't know. I could not get it filmed earlier, and this point I think comes to me later. I was rewatching the sermon, and Brother TJ said God has someone already waiting to minister to you in your dungeon. I love that. I love that God cares enough about us that He already knows we're going to have this trouble down the road. Not only does He already know, He's already got somebody there waiting for us to help us out in it if we'll just take the time to notice. And just a quick story. I always try to do a funny story. I'm doing it in the middle of the day instead of at the beginning. So hopefully you watch to this point. But I do have a school bus, and most of you know that. That's an interesting extravaganza every day. The little kids are always the best. You never know. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. And so we're driving down the road the other day. Somebody says there's a kid laying in the floor. I'm like, that's not good. Probably need to fix that. And so I'm like, what's the kid's name? I've got a million kids that ride the bus, and And I'm like, what's his name? And so everybody's like, what's his name? And so there's this little cute boy that rides my bus. They're all cute, but super cute. His name's August. He's not the boy laying on the floor. We call him Augie. And he's got this great little froggy voice, like Froggy from the Little Rascals. He's like, bus driver. When he talks, it's awesome. He's such an awesome kid. And it's something every day I can tell him. But anyway, the kid's laying in the floor. And I'm like, what's his name? I'm mad. I'm hateful at this point in the day. I'm ready to get off the bus. I'm ready to be done. I'm just, my attitude's not good, right? I don't have a right attitude. And so I'm like, Augie, what's his name? And he says, it's Joe. It's Joe. And I'm like, Joe, I don't remember a Joe. What's his last name? He says, Joe Mama. And I immediately start laughing till my side hurts. And August he's loving it. I mean, I played right into his hands. He has got the bus driver on the Joe Mama joke. And, I tell that story because it's funny and sometimes we need that, but it's funny how in that moment, this little bitty boy comes up to my kneecaps, like he was there and just instantly made me feel better. Should the kid have been laying in the bus floor? No, probably not. But even August in that moment, I swear for 3 or 4 days after that, I was in a better mood simply because of that one little moment there that August was able to help me out. And so God has people, maybe not saying Joe Mama jokes, but he's got somebody waiting to minister to you in your life and in the serious times, even in the bad times when you get a bad report from the doctor, when things are going wrong in your marriage. God's got someone there waiting to minister to us in our dungeon. And so faithful in my attitude. That was something that I was thinking about, and Brother TJ pointed out, I need to be more faithful in my attitude, the attitude I have on a day-to-day basis. TJ said we cannot control our adversity, but we can control our attitude in the adversity. Boy, it seems hard sometimes, doesn't it? But I can control my attitude in the adversity. And Psalm 31 here, verse 7 says, I will be glad and rejoice in thy mercy, for thou hast considered my trouble. Thou hast known my soul in adversity. God knows my soul. He knows my trouble. And so I need to do a better job of having a right attitude this coming week. And these are two things that I kind of thought of that hopefully will help me with that. Number one, God is intricately involved in my life. He knows all my troubles and he cares for me. That should make me have a better attitude. God, the great God of all the universe, cares about my life and my troubles and has someone there waiting to help me. Number two, Lord, and this is a big one for me, Lord, help me pay more attention to the people around me. I'm around teenagers every day. Let me do a better job of paying attention to them, less about what little thing that's going on wrong in my life, more about them and care about the troubles in their lives than I do in my own. Help me have a right attitude more and more and more this week. So hopefully you got something out of that. If nothing else, you got at least a great August story that I hope you will take with you and tell somebody. And remember to have a better attitude. Let's all try to have a better attitude this week. It seems like it hit a lot of us. Hopefully we'll see you in church on Sunday. We love you guys. Have a great rest of your Saturday and hopefully see you tomorrow. Love you guys.